The boss's wife asked Tony to help her untie her apron strings. But Tony had other intentions. He wanted to undo her waistband. He reached out with his small hand, unsure whether to touch or not. Then, the boss's wife stumbled and accidentally brushed against Tony. Seeing her injured leg, Tony immediately insisted on taking her to the hospital. But the boss's wife said no one would care about her. This made Tony feel a bit guilty, but he didn't know whether he should tell her the truth. So he decided to just carry her to the hospital, because he knew the boss had been trying to find ways to divorce his wife. One day, he went to the boss's office, hoping to get an advance on his salary to pay for his mother's medical bills. But the boss told him to seduce his wife instead. Not only did he offer to advance the salary, but he also promised an extra $10 million. Tony was terrified, his heart pounding in his chest. He thought the boss had discovered his secret of often spying on his wife, so he quickly reassured the boss that he had no inappropriate thoughts about her. But the boss offered even more tempting conditions. At that moment, Tony realized the boss wasn't joking. Still, Tony was hesitant. After all, the boss's wife was a stunning beauty, and he was just a regular assistant. There was no way someone like him would ever catch her eye. He immediately declined the offer, but the boss threatened to fire him and told him to go to the finance department. Tony panicked and begged the boss not to fire him. His mother was still in the hospital and needed money urgently. He begged for another chance. The boss agreed readily, then asked Tony if he would go through with it. For the sake of money, Tony reluctantly agreed, but he was still nervous. After all, it was his first time doing something so shameless, so he asked the boss what he should do next. But the boss reassured him not to worry. He would take care of everything. Then the boss took Tony home with him. At the dinner table, the boss told his wife that he was going on a business trip for a few days, and that Tony would be staying at their house. Although his wife protested, the boss insisted he trusted Tony's character. As soon as the words left his mouth, the boss's wife suddenly passed out. It turned out the boss had spiked her drink with a drug, all to set up the situation between his wife and Tony. The boss then personally undressed his wife, encouraging Tony to take action quickly, and instructed him to record a video. Then he turned and left. Tony, however, was extremely nervous. In the end, he reluctantly went downstairs, but with the boss's encouragement, he gathered his courage and returned to the room. Just as he was about to make his move, the boss's wife suddenly opened her eyes. Seeing herself half-dressed, she immediately felt embarrassed. However, the boss claimed she had just passed out, and it was Tony who had revived her. His wife quickly dismissed any strange thoughts, but after the boss left for his business trip, he pressured Tony to act again. When Tony walked into the living room, he accidentally found the boss's wife coming out of the shower. With a scream, the towel she was wearing slipped off.